And here are the crypto top headlines. First up, Raoul says the SEC chair Gary Gensler will not win big cases. They're doing it for politics. Next, House Committee Chairman threatens SEC chair with subpoena, but not over crypto. Also, SEC deadline on Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF dispute approaching at midnight. Plus, Ripple Chief Legal Officer says XRP uniquely classified in U.S., but regulatory framework still needed. And Ripple's XRPL set to dominate Middle East and North African markets. Welcome to Crypto Top Headlines, where there's no clickbait thumbnails or titles, and no speeches on my opinions, just bringing crypto's news to you. We are a new channel here on YouTube, and would greatly appreciate it if you would click on the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell. It does help support the channel, so thank you in advance for doing so. Now, on to these headlines. Our first top headline, Raoul says the SEC chair Gary Gensler will not win big cases. They're doing it for politics. Macro Raoul recently opened up about the approval of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. Powell's thoughts revolve around market timing and the evolving crypto landscape. When questioned about the timing of Bitcoin ETF approval, Powell said there is uncertainty. He suggested that approval might come within the current year. In an interview with Thinking Crypto, Powell explained that the approval of Bitcoin ETF heavily depends on the prevailing market conditions. In his view, the price and overall sentiment of the cryptocurrency market play a crucial role. If a Bitcoin ETF had been introduced in October of the previous year, it might not have attracted much interest due to unfavorable market conditions. He projected that the crypto market could shift towards more favorable conditions by January, potentially marking the beginning of what he called crypto summer. By mid-2024, he anticipated that the market narrative could facilitate substantial investment. Considering the historical context, he suggested that Bitcoin might aim for around 3 times its previous all-time high. Still, he acknowledged that his return could be less substantial as market matures. For Ethereum, Powell speculated that it might also aim for approximately 3 times its all-time high, similar to Bitcoin's performance in the previous cycle. He believes that the crypto market could transition from its current $1 trillion valuation to become a $10 trillion asset class, allowing for the possibility of significant returns. However, he refrained from specifying whether it would be a 10x or 5x growth. Switching to another topic, the conversation touched upon Gary Gensler, the chair of the SEC and the agency's ongoing legal battles with companies like Ripple and Coinbase. Powell expressed skepticism about Gensler's approach, implying that he is pursuing some of these cases for political reasons. He said, "So they're doing it for politics and the court is throwing it out for the right reasons, which is this is not legal. So I think there's a bunch of these. I'm sure the SEC will win a couple here and there, but they're not going to win these big cases." Our next top headline, House Committee Chairman threatens SEC Chair with subpoena, but not over crypto. U.S. House Oversight and Accountability Committee Chair James Comer thinks Gensler is stonewalling him. Crypto supporters know the feeling. James Comer, chair of the United States House of Representatives Oversight and Accountability Committee, has threatened Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler with a subpoena. He wrote in a letter dated October 12th that the committee will have no choice but to use compulsory measures to obtain documents if the SEC does not start cooperating with it. Comer also expressed concern about SEC actions taken to circumvent Congress to further an agenda that harms American taxpayers. Cryptocurrency proponents in Congress have often complained about Gensler in similar terms, But this letter is not about crypto. Rather, Comer was writing about coordination with the European Union on environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, and climate-related issues, as well as SEC stonewalling. Comer and Senator Tim Scott, who is now running in the Republican presidential primary, wrote to Gensler in June asking for information about the United States' cooperation with the EU on climate legislation that could impact U.S. companies. They sent a similar letter to Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. In his latest letter, Comer said, "To date, the SEC has not produced documents that are substantively responsive, and to date, the overwhelming majority of documents produced have been publicly available on the SEC's website, or documents that were already released pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act." These words practically mirror Patrick McHenry's letter of April 12th, where he wrote, "The 232 pages of documents provided by your staff after the briefing are publicly available and not responsive to the request." McHenry was writing about his information request relating to the prosecution of former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried. McHenry also threatened Gensler with a compulsory process. McHenry repeated that threat in person at a House Financial Services Committee hearing. Crypto supporters will also hear echoes of themselves in Comer's phrase, "It is not clear that the law provides such authority, and we must determine whether legislation is necessary." In his first letter, Comer reminded Gensler of the Supreme Court's West Virginia versus EPA ruling, which pertained to the major questions doctrine and could have an impact on the SEC's activities in the crypto sphere as well. Our next top headline, SEC deadline on Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF dispute approaching at midnight. The agency has hours left to seek an appeal of the court order to erase its rejection of Grayscale's trust to ETF conversion application. The final hours are ticking down for an appeal from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in its dispute with Grayscale Investments over establishing a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. If the agency does nothing further by midnight Eastern Time, Grayscale's application to convert its Bitcoin trust to an ETF formally returns to life. Industry observers are widely expecting the SEC to let the deadline run out because the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals decision 45 days ago was clear and even harsh in its assessment of how the agency declined the application, calling it arbitrary and capricious and saying the regulator was inappropriately trying to treat a spot ETF differently than a similar futures ETF. However, as the SEC is forced to rethink the Grayscale effort, it technically has the authority to further extend the dispute if the Commission wants to find fault with other aspects of the application. At stake is what could be an easily traded fund, mainstream investment product focused on Bitcoin. The industry hopes a spot ETF will bring investors in from the sidelines. Grayscale first applied for its GBTC closed-end fund, currently with roughly $17 billion in assets under management, to be converted into a spot Bitcoin ETF in October of 2021. Grayscale, a unit of Digital Currency Group, which is also the parent of CoinDesk, isn't alone in its pursuit of this approval. High-profile financial firms, including BlackRock and Fidelity, are also awaiting SEC word on their applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs. GBTC remains operationally ready to convert to an ETF upon appropriate regulatory approvals, Jennifer Rosenthal, a Grayscale spokeswoman, said on Friday. SEC spokespeople didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Even in a victory for ETF applicants, plenty of questions remain as to when the first product would go online and whose it would be. The approvals required from the SEC are wide-ranging and involve multiple divisions at the agency, and it's unclear whether the agency would approve several applicants at once or proceed on a timeline based on when applications came in. As for the markets, experts are guessing that the SEC's eventual approval of the ETFs is at least partially priced in. That makes it less clear how much more Bitcoin could outperform if a favorable U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission decision occurs, David Duong, head of institutional research at Coinbase Institutional, wrote in a monthly report sent to subscribers on Thursday. Our next top headline, Ripple Chief Legal Officer says XRP uniquely classified in U.S., but regulatory framework still needed. Amid his company's ongoing legal battle with the SEC, Ripple's chief legal officer has issued a public call for the United States to create a regulatory framework for the cryptocurrency industry. Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer for blockchain company Ripple, has expressed sheer dissatisfaction with the current regulatory landscape for cryptocurrency-related firms in the United States. In the past few years, Ripple has spent hundreds of millions of dollars in its lawsuit with the SEC in a bid to get regulatory clarity for the XRP token, which it uses within the company's technology stack to facilitate seamless cross-border payments. While the courts have eventually ruled in favor of secondary sales of XRP not being a non-security in the U.S., Ripple's chief legal officer believes that much more is needed. In a recent CNBC interview, Alderati recalled that XRP as a digital token is now uniquely classified as a non-security in the U.S., following the landmark July 13th judgment. Notably, XRP is the only crypto token that has received this clarity. However, Ripple's chief legal officer shared the company's opinion that the issue regarding the classification of cryptocurrencies in the country does not require distinct court cases but a regulatory framework. He told the CNBC audience, even if we, Ripple, won in court, we don't think that this issue should be fought token by token, case by case, judge by judge. We think we need a rational regulatory framework. Regulatory framework needed but not near. Speaking further in the interview, Stuart Alderati shared the company's opinion that a comprehensive regulatory framework is necessary for crypto to thrive in the U.S. He cited the existence of such regulatory requirements in regions like the European Union, Australia, Japan, Brazil, and many others. Yet, Ripple's chief legal officer fears that the U.S. may still be several years away from providing such regulatory clarity. He acknowledged ongoing efforts by leading policymakers to develop rational regulatory proposals. Nonetheless, Stuart Alderati is not very optimistic about the chances of these regulations moving forward in the current Congress session or the next one. In the meantime, Ripple continues to conduct most of its business offshore, but hopes that regulatory clarity will come soon enough for the company to tap into the U.S. market fully. Our next top headline, Ripple's XRPL set to dominate Middle East and North African markets. The XRP ledger, or XRPL, has reached an impressive milestone, crossing over 83 million ledgers. This milestone underscores XRPL's continuous evolution as the hub for smart contracts within the Ripple and XRP ecosystem. As XRPL gains momentum, it prompts the question, can this drive bolster XRP's global presence, especially beyond the complex regulatory environment in the United States? While XRP and traditional fiat currencies have distinct qualities, both have the potential to transform the financial world as we know it. Ripple's expanding footprint. Despite an ongoing legal case with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Ripple remains committed to global expansion with a specific focus on the Middle East and North African markets, including Dubai. This year, Ripple solidified its presence in Dubai by establishing a new office in the Dubai International Financial Center. A recent report by Sologenic clearly demonstrates Ripple's savvy business strategies, which when coupled with strengthened global ties, position them ahead of the curve. It's becoming increasingly apparent that sooner or later, all crypto firms must pivot away from their U.S. ties to thrive with confidence. MENA's significance. At the Dubai FinTech Summit, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse disclosed that XRPL boasts an impressive 4.8 million wallets, with 20% of its clientele originating from the MENA region. This region holds strategic importance for Ripple as it hosts key clients including SABB, Qatar National Bank, Lula Financial Holdings, Al Ansarari Exchange, and RAK Bank. The Middle East, with its adept regulatory strategies, is fostering a flourishing crypto environment, demonstrating the potential for cryptocurrencies to play a pivotal role in shaping a secure financial future. This makes it an attractive choice for leading crypto firms today. Sologenics contribution. Native UAE firm Sologenic is fervently contributing to Ripple's mission of attracting institutional investors. The platform has successfully onboarded more than 200,000 customers onto the XRP ledger, a clear sign of the increasing interest in XRP and its underlying technology. Rapid growth ahead. Conversely, XRPL has witnessed a substantial increase in new addresses, surging by 31.8% in 2022 to reach 138,790. Quarterly revenue has shown remarkable growth, soaring by 220.3% to 188,376. Currently, XRP is trading at 48.3 cents, inching closer to the support level at 47.6 cents. It had been on an uptrend until just a week ago, but it has experienced a 10.7% decline, breaching both the uptrend and the 50-cent support level. However, the outlook may change with the advent of new adoptions. Strategic partnerships. The adoption of XRP is on an upward trajectory, largely driven by the cryptocurrency payment processor BitPay, which recently announced that ExpressVPN and Kingyuan now accept XRP payments. This integration not only strengthens XRP's role in digital payments, but also underscores its speed and convenience. With Ripple's global expansion efforts and XRPL's ongoing development, the future appears bright for global XRP adoption. So this concludes our top headlines. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to click on the like and subscribe buttons, as well as the notification bell. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you all for watching Crypto Top Headlines, bringing crypto's news to you.